You ever sit down to study and instantly feel bored out of your mind? Yeah, me too. But one day I realized my brain wasn't broken, it was just wired wrong, so I decided to rewire it. I wanted focus so sharp it could cut glass. I wanted to study, learn, and memorize any subjects just like Ayanokoji. And here's what happened. See, most people think studying is about motivation. Well, it's not. Motivation is weak. It disappears the second your phone buzzes. What really matters is wiring your brain to focus even when you don't feel like it. Once you do that, studying stops feeling hard. It just happened. But first, you gotta fix the system. I realized my brain was acting like a kid on a sugar rush. Constant dopamine, constant scrolling, zero patience. Every time I tried to focus, it was like trying to meditate in a rock concert. So I did the only thing that made sense. I created my own white room. No, not a real white room. I didn't paint my walls. I just strip my space of everything that offers me cheap dopamine hits. No phone, no video games, no notifications, no music, just me, a notebook, and silence so loud it hurt. At first it felt uncomfortable. My brain wanted something. Music, videos, games, anything. But then as I pushed through the pain, something weird happened. After a few days, that intense discomfort slowly turns into intense focus. My brain stopped begging for stimulation, and for the first time in forever, I could focus for hours without even realizing it. Once I learned to sit in silence, I had power. That's when I started rebuilding my brain from the ground up. Here's where most people mess up. They think studying means reading. But the truth is, reading is like watching someone go to the gym. You don't get stronger. The real muscle of your brain builds through something called active recall. Here's how I used it. I'd read a page, close the book, and write down everything I remembered. That's it. It's as simple as that. This method forced my brain to pull information out instead of blindly shoving information in. At first, I forgot everything, but after a week, I started remembering 80% of the contents I read, word for word. But that's only half the story. I also used another powerful memorization techniques called spaced repetition. After using active recall, I'd review each concept I learned the next day, then 3 days later, then a week later. Spaced repetition is a great technique that allows your brain to store information in the long run. It's like lifting heavier weights each session. Over time, your memory gets stronger. But here's the catch. Active recall and spaced repetition are powerful techniques primarily used for memorization. You might memorize all the concepts you learned, but it doesn't necessarily mean you understand them. That's when I realized I needed a simple, yet effective method to actually understand any subjects I study. That's when I stumbled upon the Feynman Technique. This method is surprisingly simple. I just have to pretend to be a teacher. Yep, it's as simple as that. Think of the best teacher you've ever had. They could take the most difficult subjects and make you somehow able to understand them easily. To use this technique efficiently, you take what you've learned and pretend teaching it to a 6-year-old kid. This forces you to use simple language and understand the topic to its most fundamental principle. If you couldn't explain it simply, you didn't understand it. But here's where it gets interesting. All of these techniques are completely useless if you do not master this one thing. Imagine a basketball player with incredible technical abilities. He can dribble past many defenders, his shooting accuracy is 100%, and his movement off the ball is unpredictable. However, that player has zero endurance and stamina. Now, do you think he is a good player? Of course not. There's no point in having the best techniques if you don't have the stamina to use it for a long period of time. The same goes for your brain. You can use the best learning methods, but if your brain can't pay attention to one thing for a long period of time, those techniques are not going to help you. Therefore, I trained my attention like a muscle. Every morning, I stared at a dot on my wall for 30 seconds in complete silence. Just pure stillness. When my mind drifted, I pulled it back again and again. After a few days, I could feel my attention locking in faster, and I could hold it longer than ever before. And from that moment, multitasking was dead to me. I realized every time I switched tasks, my brain paid a reset tax. It had to reload concentration like a slow computer. So I stopped multitasking and focused on single tasking instead. Unfortunately, most people stop here. They build their focus, but forget to fuel the machine behind it, their body. Think of your brain like a laptop. Even the most powerful computer shuts down if the battery's dead. Same with you. When I started training my focus, I realized something simple. My energy sucked. I'd wake up tired, drink coffee right away, and crash 2 hours later. So I cleaned up my inputs. I started eating brain food.
Eggs for B vitamins that boost mental energy and reduce stress. Salmon for omega-3s, the healthy fats your brain uses to build new cells. Blueberries for antioxidants that protect memory and help you think clearer. Spinach for iron and vitamin K, keeping your brain oxygenated and sharp. Nuts and seeds for magnesium, which keeps you calm and focused under pressure. Dark chocolate for flavonoids that improve blood flow and focus. Avocados for healthy fats that keep your brain's energy stable all day. And of course, water, because even slight dehydration makes your brain lag like bad Wi-Fi.
And here's a small but crazy tip. Delay your coffee intake. Wait about 90 minutes after waking up before drinking your coffee. Why? Because your body already makes its own natural wake-up chemical called cortisol. If you drink coffee too early, you cancel it out. When I fixed that, my energy lasted way longer than usual. I also added cardio, 3 runs a week. Nothing crazy, just 30 minutes. Studies show that running literally helps your brain grow new cells and think faster. After a few weeks of running, I noticed I could focus longer and remember more. That's not magic, that's oxygen and blood flow feeding my brain. But even after all this, something still felt off. I fixed my energy, I fixed my focus, I fixed my learning techniques. Yet I still didn't want to study. That's when I realized something important. You can have all the perfect methods in the world, but if your brain feels like studying is torture, you'll quit. So I had to trick my brain into enjoying the process. Before every study session, I'd close my eyes for 30 seconds and visualize everything I will get from studying. Seeing the A+ on the paper, that feeling of relief, the freedom afterwards. It's like giving your brain a movie trailer of success. And here's the wild part. Your brain can't tell the difference between what's real and what's vividly imagined. So when you picture winning, your brain releases the same chemicals it would if you actually won. This can boost your motivation before you even start. But here's what really changed everything. I stopped rewarding myself for results, because most of the time results are either delayed or out of your control. Therefore, instead of celebrating results, I rewarded consistency. If I study for even 10 minutes, I'd tell myself, nice bro, you showed up. That's it. Even a small praise can make all the difference. Because when you focus and reward showing up, your brain starts craving the act of studying itself, and that's how habits form. So here's my challenge for you. For the next 7 days, build your own white room, remove distractions, and work on your attention span. Then study using active recall and spaced repetition. And finally, track your consistency. Don't do it for me. Do it to prove something to yourself. Because the second you realize your brain listens to you and not the other way around, that's the moment you win. Now go rewire your brain. And if you're serious about upgrading your learning capability, you know what to do. Subscribe and leave a like and a comment. I'll see you in the next one.